Any plans for another long-form React event? No. No plans. We're doing well with gameplay, podcasting, and the like. There's no reason to do a long-form React event when I'm doing good with everything else that I'm doing. Can we issue an invite to Asmon tonight? I don't know. People keep making shit up every day. They're like, oh, he said something about you. He never does. People just keep saying stuff to try to, like, cause attention and cause drama. I never take the bait, and then he never brought it up anyway. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow on the morning show. Can't I DM asmongold like a normal person? Asmongold doesn't read DMs like a normal person. He doesn't. He doesn't read them at all. Like, you could DM the guy and he'll just ignore it completely. And then if you're randomly lucky, once in a blue moon, he checks his DMs if he's, like, around, but it's insanely rare. Like I said, the only way you get that guy's attention is essentially to cause drama, which I don't like to do. I mean, that's how I got his attention in November, is I talked shit publicly and then said, just so you know, I only talk shit to get your attention because it's the only way I can get your ear. Otherwise, you don't hear that anyone even wants to talk to you. Call him a piece of shit, exactly. If I did a big stink and, you know, publicly tweeted him negatively, he'd probably check out what I was talking about. Exactly right. How's the work-life balance? Pretty good. Pretty good right now. It's getting good because it's to the point now where I can take a little bit more time off every once in a while to spend with my wife, and we're actually getting to do stuff. Like, used to be so bad. I had to work 6 days a week, every single week, and times were tight. Now, because things are better, right, we get to do more. Like, we really do. We get to do more. We're more flexible in the stuff that we can do. And people seem to be liking the improvements to the content that I'm making, you know, the edited stuff. And I get to spend more time doing stuff with my wife that feels meaningful, you know? As opposed to trying to cram in time between stuff, we get to actually have whole days out and stuff, which is very nice. No, my wife has no desire to come on stream again after the harassment that she received in previous times, you know, appearing in content. She just has zero desire to ever show up ever again. She really doesn't. Like, she says she just doesn't care. Ralph escaped to Mexico? What do you mean, escaped? What are you talking about? No one's really talking that much, but we're just trying to build up some attendance before we begin. Vinegar can act as a deterrent to bugs. Well, the issue there, because Mojito Kitty says maybe you could use this to get rid of stink bugs. The issue there would be, how would I get outside of my window onto my rooftop to spray it with vinegar? Because that's where they're coming from. They come outside, they attract your window, and they try to get in holes and stuff. How would I go outside and spray? Spraying inside there, that's not going to help. I need to stop them from trying to go into the window. It's called a ladder. Yes, but the thing is, I don't have a giant ladder to climb onto my roof. I don't have a reason to be up there. So, I've never been on the roof. I'm not qualified to go up there. Yeah, right now we haven't actually had much issue with stink bugs, which is a good thing. We had a few earlier on in the year, but they actually kind of let up and stopped. And haven't had any issue in a bit. So, hopefully the bug situation will stay under control, particularly now because I already got the air conditioners in. Typically, the stink bug problem happens when I need to have the window open all the time, but it's like spring or fall, and I don't have the air conditioner in yet, because then my screens, which are all damaged from the previous owners who were idiots and destroyed these screens because they're just morons, they have holes, and what I do is I'll take the weatherproofing tape and I'll try to tape it up as best as I can, and that usually holds for the season. But sometimes the bugs can sneak through. But now that we have the air conditioner in, likely I'm not going to have that issue this year. No, the ants, I think we might have gotten a handle on the ant problem. Reason being, we figured out the two places they were coming from. One place the ants were coming from was behind our oven, because one time we saw them crawling up the wall there, so we pulled the oven out and discovered that behind our oven, the people who built the house never completed the floor. There's actually about an inch to an inch and a half missing in the floor to the wall that's like open, and like, oh, ants are crawling up from under there, you know. So I put traps and stuff there, and since I did that, we haven't had a single ant come from that direction. We noticed the ants started coming out of near the back of the house again, and I said, I need to get to the bottom of where they're coming from. So I thoroughly searched, and what I discovered was that we have a heat vent that's right at our back door, our back sliding door. So I removed the vent cover, and I started looking inside, and I found out there is a gap, a hole, all right, for where the metal vent is to the actual wood of the floor. There's a hole that was like this big, and I was like, well, that's not supposed to be there. Again, it looks like when they built a house, there was some shortcomings. Perhaps some corners were cut. And what's happened is over the years, probably it's warped and gotten bigger and bigger, and I think that was a hole that the ants were coming out of. So I actually bought metal tape. You know, you could get like aluminum tape, and I basically clogged and plugged and patched up all this gap that was in the vent. And since I've done that, we haven't had an ant. So I think they were coming from the two holes in the floor, and now that I've basically fixed those holes, we're not having that issue anymore. So I think we're good. Yes, my chair has a vibration function. I have it on right now. It's a very relaxing massage setting that I use. It's great. It makes me feel good. Thoughts on buying an anteater? That could be a creative solution. If you have ants and you just can't get to the bottom of where they're coming from, getting an anteater might solve your problem, because not only is he going to slurp them all off the floor when they arrive, he's going to find out where they're coming from, and he's going to want to get to the root of the problem. And they've got really long prehensile tongues where they can just get into areas, so he'll be able to just suck those suckers right up. You ever seen an actual anteater? Man, they look weird. They're so unique. They're also going to poop everywhere. Oh, that's true.